Despicable Me 3 is the third movie in this series, and this time around Gru finds out that he has a long-lost twin brother named Drew who desperately wants to continue the family tradition of villainy with him. Now, I enjoyed the first two Despicable Me films. I found it to be a good time for both parents and children, and I didn't see Minions, but I heard pretty bad things about it, and I wasn't craving a third Despicable Me movie, and coming out of it, I kind of wondering if this movie needed to be made. I mean, it's not terrible, but it didn't have that same kind of punch as the first two did. There are some things I do like about this movie. For one, the animation is pretty solid. It doesn't go for that photorealism. It goes for more of a cartoony feel. But when you look at the textures and the shading, and especially in the water simulations, this movie is pretty solid in that aspect. This movie does lean more towards appealing to the children more than the parents, but it's not a full-on kids joke fest film. It's not like fart joke after fart joke. There are some kid humors, but it's more, the humor's a little bit more mature and not so childish. And I'm really thankful it didn't go on full like fart joke after fart joke. Steve Carell again does a really good job of voicing Gru and Drew for that matter, because they're twin brothers, so he does voices for both of the characters. And he's been one of the highlights of all three of these films for me, at least. The Minions are still one of the funniest parts about this movie. They've made me laugh in the previous movies, and I didn't see Minions, and I've heard people say that they just can't carry a movie by themselves and they're more suited for that sidekick role, and I would agree with that. They have some really fun parts to this whole bit of them being in jail, and they have some musical numbers that come off really funny. But really, overall, it seems like they're there just to be funny and be there for the jokes, and their whole part in the entire movie really is kind of pointless. And that's really what this movie boils down to, is that it seems like they're just going more for the laughs than really trying to tell a cohesive and like meaningful story. And that's evident in how the movie kind of flows. It really doesn't focus in on one thing. It's kind of scatterbrained, and it seems to be, this movie will appeal more to like the kids rather than the parents, and there's not a whole lot there for the parents to enjoy. I mean, there are a couple of small themes that they kind of touch on it a little bit. There's just the whole like story with Lucy and her trying to be more of a mother figure to the kids. There's this one storyline with Gru and Drew and how they got separated and how each parent sort of chose the wrong child because they're both disappointed in the child that they chose. I thought that would have been some really cool things to explore, but these themes like sort of they come and go really quickly, and it's back to the laughs and the jokes. And again, the movie is very scatterbrained. There's so many side stories going on, and I think that they're there just so that all the other characters have something to do throughout the film, and it kind of detracts from the main story of Gru and Drew going after the main villain, who I thought was kind of annoying. I know a lot of people thought that he was a really good character, but for me, his story got really old really quickly. I mean, I won't lie, I did laugh at his jokes at the very beginning of the movie, his very first scene, but the jokes that are told in that sequence just get repeated over and over, and it got annoying to me, I'm sorry. And besides that, I couldn't get behind his character and his involvement with Gru, who's supposed to be this huge villain that he's been trying to get over and over again, and that was kind of because his character is very underdeveloped and his history with Gru was underdeveloped. And I know it's unreasonable to complain about things like character development in a kid's movie of all things, but with movies like Zootopia and Inside Out, there are ways to make an animated film that appeals to both parents and children so the kids can laugh and there's meaningful stories for the parents to enjoy as well. And to me, it seems that this movie is leaning a little bit more towards entertaining children, and at best, this movie is something you take your kids to if they need to get out of the house and stay busy for an hour and a half. With animated movies like this, I always ask myself if this is something I would bring my future children to, and I would say that if I had nothing better to do and they didn't want to watch Star Wars again, I guess I would bring them this film. It's something that nice that they can get out of the house and just waste an hour and a half with. So in the end, this movie didn't grab me like the first two did. There are too many side stories that diluted the main plot, which features a villain that I just found annoying. I wish I could say this movie is fun for the whole family, but I think kids are going to enjoy this movie more than parents. So I'm giving Despicable Me 3 2.5 out of 5 stars. So now it's your turn. Comment below, tell me what you thought of Despicable Me 3 if you saw it. If you liked this review, hit that thumbs up button, and be sure to check out some of my other videos to stay up to date on all those. Hit the subscribe button right there. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.